All right, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a video that essentially details the following. Right, so in Odoo, you can configure your budgets, of course, this way, manually, which we already know uh, is going to be consuming for them. So what we're going to recommend is the budgetary position in this case will have a 1-to-1 ratio. A budgetary position will name it income, and the financial account that it right looks at will be the income account. And I just created 3 for this example. We have an expense account. I've named the budgetary position expense, and then another budgetary position account called fuel, and it syncs up directly with the fuel account. Of course, the planned amount is the budgeted amount. Practical amount is the actual amount, and then the other ones we're not going to talk about in detail right now. So when it comes to budget season, obviously they don't want to have to manually enter one at a time into here. So what we're going to do is we can allow for them to enter all of their budgets in Excel and run an import right here. This will bring in all the particular planned amounts for each financial account as they've said they wanted to do. So they'll import all this data in, and it will live in Odoo and automatically roll to a budget. Now, what I've done is I've gone into the pivot table and I have pushed all of this data into a spreadsheet. You can do that. I've already done it, but you can do it here. And what I've done is when I go to the Documents app and I open up my budget report, my budget lives here. I don't have any financial data for any of these previous months, but I do have financial data, as you'll see here, in August, where I have my actuals. This budgeted amount pulls from my budget line table, which here are the 3 accounts that I had pushed from that one budgetary line view. I've pushed it in and I have my planned amounts here. You'll see this cell is B4. If I look at my budget here, the cell in this case is looking at this, it's pulling from the value assigned to this cell. So I would just be able to say, in this case, equals, and this is the manual version, but I could say this, but I'll say that one. And it will, of course, pull it. And that's not the actual, so I want to leave the actual what it is, but I would actually update this cell here to say pull that value, and it will pull it. Or this cell, pull that value, pull it. So you see, those are dynamically updated. Now, I've calculated the percentage here. This automatically calculates. You'll see the formulas. And then I've created a secondary budget, as you requested, to be able to manage the secondary budget amount with the performance of that secondary budget, which you can see my basic formulas here. So what is the purpose of all of this? It's simple. You build this out once, and Odoo is going to remember it. You don't have to manually go through and click each one and map it. That's too tedious. There's easier ways to do it by using pivots and dragging and dropping and having an Odoo consultant set it up for you. But you build this table and model out once, and you're able to use it year over year. This will show you all of your different financial accounts broken out, in this case by category, and their performance year over year, or month over month in this case. And you can, of course, dynamically update, right? You can do VLOOKUPs, you can have all of your generic formulas that you otherwise would have in Excel directly in Odoo, where you then have all of these actual fields updating in real time based on values changing in the system. So let's look at this 12,500. And it is in the general IC. You have your expense. Let's look at fuel. It's easier. So we look in the fuel account, and we can see that we've actually spent 12,500, right? So now when I actually go to my, let's go create a bill. I'll create a vendor bill for any vendor. I'll just add a product label. We'll call it gas, and the account will label fuel. And let's add $100,000 to fuel. Once I confirm, obviously it posts. I have to first update my bill date and confirm. And now let's go back to my spreadsheet. And you will see when I scroll over to fuel, it is now 112,500, and you can see the performance automatically update as well as the performance based on my secondary budget update as well. So that's the power of Odoo Sheets. It's going to allow you to have as dynamic reporting as you want, as many forecasted budgets as you want, all while relying on the actuals, and these are going to update in real time. So that's requirement number one. Requirement number two is the P&L. We're going to go here. In the P&L, we'll go to reporting, profit, loss. Here, in theory, you'd have all of your financial accounts. I don't have all of them right now. I just have, in this case, one of them, but you'd see a list of them. You go to comparison. You go here, you go to this month, and then you go to comparison, and we're able to say, show me the last 12 months. And that'll run a P&L over the last 12 months broken out by financial account right here on this, in this specific view. If you need to go even more granular, for example, let's say you want to look at things by analytic account or by project, you could turn on your analytic accounts, right? And you'd see, I'll show you how that works. Or by location, but let's just turn on analytic accounting. And you can show them this, Garrett, when they can go to write accounting. We'll go to journal items. We'll group by, actually want to see just posted, group by the analytic account. That'll be by project. In this case, they're all undefined, but we could group by account. We could group by customer. That's an interesting one. So we want to see by customer, we'll call it. And then I'll go to my financial reports, and I'll look at the P&L. I'll add the new filter I just added called by customer. We'll go to our profit loss statement, and now I'll be able to say, for example, show me by customer, by month. It will actually show me the performance of each customer over each month through the lens of a P&L broken down by financial account. So I'd be sure to show them that as well. Okay. Hopefully this video is helpful. If you have any additional questions, let me know.